So I don't know why, but it seems like the whole of America was upset by Bad Bunny's performance, his halftime show at the Super Bowl. Even Trump was enraged, infuriated. All right, let's get into it. To me, I pretty much enjoyed the halftime performance. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. I was having a blast. I was there, yeah. Okay, whatever, bro. So Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show explained. This video is by Matty Balls with dwayzeonblaze. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Bad Bunny just had one of the most controversial Super Bowl halftime shows ever, at least politically speaking, with his performance being the first halftime show to be done entirely in Spanish and becoming the most viewed performance of all time. After years of protest against ICE and the Trump administration, to the point where the right hosted an alternate all-American halftime show with Kid Rock to push back against Bad Bunny in the NFL, Bad Bunny did something very unexpected and had a performance jam-packed, full of subliminal messages that I want to break down today.
You gave a Grammy away.
Understand why this halftime show was both so
Matty, what happened?
Controversial and important. We have to know a little bit more about who Bad Bunny is and why this is so politically charged. Bad Bunny is a massive artist who's recently been compared to the likes of Latin America's Drake, and some even go as far as to say that he's bigger than Drake already. He's from Puerto Rico, which is important, and it's also important to remember that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory and has been since 1898. This brings us to the focal point of what makes Bad Bunny being announced as the 2026 Super Bowl headliner so controversial. In September of 2025, it was announced that Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican singer and rapper, was set to perform for the halftime show. As we discussed his impressive accolades and worldwide appeal, Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl makes sense. Even despite not making music in English, I think it's still fair to say you can enjoy a song even if you don't understand it, like we've seen with Despacito or Gangnam Style being huge hits in the US. As part of the announcement, Bad Bunny said, "What I'm feeling goes beyond myself. It's for those who came before me and ran countless yards so I could come in and score a touchdown. This is for my people, my culture, and our history." Ironically, this was a bit of foreshadowing. This is where things get political, in large part because Bad Bunny performs almost entirely in Spanish, and he's been a loud and frequent critic of the Trump administration. In a tour announced by Bad Bunny, he has no planned stops in the continental U.S. In interviews, he's explained...
What do you think of Bad Bunny? Hey, he gives off like very sassy boy vibes, but whatever, man.
Choice saying that the decision was due to fears that his fans could be targeted by Trump's mass deportation push. And after the Super Bowl announcement, he alluded to the move on Twitter, saying, "I've been thinking about it these days, and after discussing it with my team, I think I'll just do one day in the United States." And he's been fairly critical of the United States before. Back in 2017, he criticized the lack of humanitarian aid in the wake of Hurricane Maria, which devastated Puerto Rico. During a benefit concert for hurricane relief, Bad Bunny wore a shirt criticizing Trump with the message, "Eres Twittero o Presidente," which translates to, "Are you a Twitter user or a president?"
Bad Bunny to me is like a political billboard, bro. It's like everybody just uses him to push whatever agenda. Whether it's sorcery and...
Es una pregunta para el pana. Va a tener que buscar un puertorriqueño o un mexicano que se la traduzca porque no creo que sepa español.
And his passion hasn't only been directed towards larger U.S. politics either. In 2019, Bad Bunny took to the streets alongside other artists such as Ricky Martin and more than 500,000 Puerto Ricans. This was in protest of government corruption and demanding the resignation of their current governor. In 2022, one of his music videos criticized Puerto Rican utility deficiencies, gentrification in San Juan, and land and beach privatization, something which he would do again in his performance. And all of these themes are under the colonialism umbrella, which Bad Bunny often addresses both in his music and in his activism. Fast forward to the 2024 US presidential election, and Bad Bunny posted a bunch of clips of Kamala Harris criticizing Trump, especially after the comedian Tony Hinchcliffe made a joke about Puerto Rico at the Trump rally, which took place at Madison Square Garden.
You know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Alongside all of this,
that's crazy. That is... Wow, racismo.
Bunny's also known for his LGBTQ+ advocacy. In 2020, he appeared as the musical guest on Jimmy Fallon and brought attention to the killing of Alexa Luciano, a transgender woman from Puerto Rico. He wore a black skirt and a white shirt with the words, "They killed Alexa, not a man in a skirt."
I don't know, bro.
That same year, Bad Bunny kept up with his LGBTQ+ activism when he performed in drag for another music video. On top of these kind of things, other public moments have pissed some people off as well. like at a Yankee game when he and some friends didn't stand during the performance of God Bless America. All of this resulted in what might be one of the most controversial halftime show performance picks of all time, which even resulted in President Trump chiming in about the halftime show decision.
I never heard of him. I don't know who he is. I don't know why they're doing it. It's like crazy. And then they blame it on some promoter that they hired to pick up entertainment. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
And a lot of
How is it absolutely ridiculous when so much of the U.S. population is either Hispanic, or they have Hispanic descent, or Mexican? Like, come on, bruv. There's such a large Hispanic influence in America. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna come out here and be like, I don't understand.
Republican politicians mirrored this ideal as well, claiming to not know who Bad Bunny was or saying that it was a bad decision. But one of the main topics is ICE, a United States government apparatus that Bad Bunny has been very critical of. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE for short, is a federal law enforcement agency under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Its self-stated mission is to protect America through criminal investigations and enforcing immigration laws to preserve national security and public safety. But lately, a lot of citizens don't feel like this is the case. Well, during Obama's administration, ICE was prioritized to go after people charged with serious crimes, or at least they were supposed to. The narrative seemed to fully shift with the Trump administration, directing the agency to target anybody it believed had entered the United States illegally. With this came some more high-profile raids at places of employment, places of worship, and places of education, which caused major protest and even arrests of U.S. citizens. And this was just during Trump's first term. Things have ramped up quite a bit since then, with ICE receiving record funding from the Big Beautiful Bill. Beginning in December 2025, ICE began Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota, which was characterized by local police and journalists as a severe escalation of ICE tactics. As a result came some of the biggest anti-ICE protests the U.S. has ever seen, which led to headline after headline. Then on January 7th, 2026, an ICE officer shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good during an incident in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If the ICE situation was tense before, it was now red hot. Protests exploded across the city and nation overall.
Hey, America always has police brutality-esque things, bro. Like, oh, you guys, you're police or something else, dude. But hey, I don't know.
A massive amount of people displaying frustration with the agency's actions.
For the best.
By this point, polls showed that a majority of Americans thought as a whole ICE as an agency had gone too far. Then on January 24th, 2026, ICU nurse Alex Preddy was pepper sprayed, restrained, shot, and killed again by DHS agents. This was allegedly after he attempted to protect a woman who had been shoved to the ground by federal agents. Remember how I said things were already red hot after Renee? Well, whatever gets even crazier than that is what the situation evolved into. So the stakes—
But why do these agents treat people like dogs, bro? Like, surely there's a gentler or kindlier or a less harsh way of proceeding with these things. I don't know, but hey,
were very high
just
for Bad
throwing
Bunny,
women around,
an artist who has been very critical of this organization. And Bad Bunny had a lot of pushback from the United States government. Corey Lewandowski, a senior advisor at the Department of Homeland Security, claimed that ICE agents will be at Bad Bunny's halftime show.
Benny, there is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in this country illegally, not the Super Bowl and nowhere else. We will find you, we will apprehend you, we will put you in a detention facility, and we will deport you. So know that that is a very real situation.
This guy comes from a dystopian movie, bro. Yes, look, he's saying it with a straight face without even blinking, bro. He don't give no fucks, bro.
Administration, which is completely contrary to how it used to be.
And again, the claim that ICE would be in attendance was echoed by other Homeland Security officials following the initial statement. While many adversaries of Bad Bunny claim an American should be headlining, a lot of proponents had continued to point out that Puerto Rico is in fact part of America. And Bad Bunny eventually addressed everything in his SNL monologue, saying he's still happy to be performing and that he believes most people are as well, especially emphasizing how proud he is to represent his Latin culture. When asked why the NFL chose Bad Bunny during a press conference, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell answered, "He's one of the leading and most popular entertainers in the world. That's what we try to achieve. It's an important stage for us. It's an important element to the entertainment value. It's carefully thought through." He also added on that despite the backlash, he has no plans of canceling the performance, since the move was made to attract younger audiences. And he also pointed out that he's not sure they've ever selected an artist and received zero criticism. In response to all of this, Turning Point USA, which was founded by Charlie Kirk and is now owned by his wife, Erica Kirk, announced that they would have their own alternate halftime show, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. A week before
Charlie Kirk's wife is doing the most, but okay.
Bad Bunny had the first Spanish language album of the year win at the Grammys. He said in his acceptance speech, "I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country, to follow their dreams." He also said, "Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say ice out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens. We are humans and we are Americans." After all of this build-up, I'm sure you guys can see why his halftime show performance was so important and was bound to be so controversial. But Bad Bunny did something that was, in my opinion, very unexpected. Rather than making a huge, overtly political performance, protesting against Trump or ICE, Bad Bunny chose to celebrate his culture and unity, with a lot of subliminal messages packed in his performance. From a bird's eye view, Bad Bunny was taking a walk through various parts of Puerto Rican and Latin American culture, which honestly kind of reminded me of Lil Wayne's A Milli music video. Regardless though, the set was meant to resemble the sugarcane fields in Puerto Rico, and funnily enough, the green set was actually just a bunch of people. One person on Reddit said, "This calls out Puerto Rico's slave history and being exploited for its resources and labor. America invaded Puerto Rico in 1898 and devalued their currency, appropriated the land, turned large agricultural areas to grow sugarcane. This resulted in lots of poverty across Puerto Rico." He played a snippet of Daddy Yankee's Gasolina and said, "You're listening to music from Puerto Rico, the barrios, and the projects." By the way, sorry guys, I just can't roll my R's. I don't know.
There's so much fire music that comes out of Puerto Rico from time, bro.
What's wrong with my tongue? But just I'm going to disappoint you in this video. I want you to know that. He also handed his Grammy to a young boy who many people actually mistook for Liam Ramos, a young boy who was detained by ICE, but it was actually a child actor named Lincoln Fox. He did a bunch of cool cultural things throughout the whole performance, like inviting Toñita, who is the 85-year-old owner of Caribbean Social Club in New York, a popular and last of its kind establishment because of gentrification. Some people were saying stuff like the taco stand being called Villa's Tacos represents Pancho Villa, who was the only person who invaded the U.S. It's also the name of a taco shop, so who knows, maybe it's both meanings, I don't know.
Double entendre.
In regards to the food stands in general, though, another Redditor said, "Poverty is a big topic of conversation here. The coconut stand, nail salon stand, and taco stand emphasize how Puerto Ricans and in general how in Latin America you have to hustle and get creative to get by. It's very common for people there to open food stands to feed their families. Very common to walk around the block in these countries and bump into so many small businesses.
You'll always see like the hands always doing hair, like even on the block. You know, they're doing nails and stuff. You gotta hustle. It's like Africa out there, bro.
So it's why boxing appears as well, since boxing is commonly known as a way out of poverty, especially in Mexico. There was also a couple that got engaged and then married during the performance, with Lady Gaga singing at the wedding. And apparently the wedding was real too. Others suggested that...
I love that part, bro. I love that part when Gaga came in. I don't know. I like Gaga when she looks natural, bro. When she's doing things like this. I don't like Gaga when she's wearing bird cages on her head and then she's tweaking and twacking.
Gaga performing
at the Grammys, what was she doing?
The wedding bit was critiquing American tradition of...
Wait. But why is Gaga allowed to perform at the Grammys and perform at the Super Bowl as well? Oh, okay, maybe she wasn't headlining. Let's be fair. She was not headlining the Super Bowl. But Grammys keep doing this thing where it seems like if you're a person of color, all of a sudden you can only pick one. Bro. When it was the weekend, they said, bro, it's either you're going to perform at the Grammys or you're going to perform at the Super Bowl. It's either you're going to get a Grammy or you go into the Super Bowl. Abel chose Super Bowl. They said, take that Grammy, boy. Bring that Grammy here. We're not giving you this Grammy, dude. For one of the best albums of the 2020s, bro. Bro, The Weeknd's album, flipping After Hours, bro, is one of the best albums of the 2020s. At least in contemporary R&B or just R&B. In any R&B, bro. Pop R&B. Whatever R&B, bro. Is one of the best, bro. And they just gave him nothing, bro. Blinding Lights, one of the longest running singles, I think, in a minute, bro. That shit was like hot for 2 years, bro. Nah, they were like, nah, boy. Abel, you ain't taking nothing. Anyway, sorry for the sidetrack.
Inviting Latino artists to sing at weddings as if they were just entertainers. He also had a bunch...
Yeah, also, I was going to say it was Abel. And then they also did that to... now they're doing this to Bad Bunny.
Of other celebrities out there like Cardi B, Jessica Alba, Pedro Pascal, and many more. But Bad Bunny also included some more political messaging aside from just the showcasing of culture. At one part, Ricky Martin, one of the biggest Latin music artists ever, who is also from Puerto Rico, sang a Bad Bunny song called What Happened to Hawaii. He sang the chorus, which reads, "They want to take away my river and the beach too. They want my neighborhood and for grandma to leave, because I don't want them to do to you what happened to Hawaii." This song is very obviously about U.S. colonialism, and if you guys don't know how the U.S. acquired Hawaii, it was very sneaky, kind of like, hey, let's just put a military base.
Everything the U.S. does is sneaky. How did they acquire the president of Venezuela? Very sneaky, wasn't it?
Here, real quick, we're still friends, we're still just allies. But let us put one more here. World War II happens, boom. Martial law, and then they took it over. Then right after this, a bunch of power lines blew up with people falling off to illustrate power outages, since they happened a lot on the island. And this is actually a really big problem in Puerto Rico, with one person on Reddit saying, "Storms and poor electrical infrastructure are a constant issue on all U.S. territories. Longest I personally went without power was 2.5 months on the island I lived on. Many blame the poor electric grids on the United States for not giving them enough money or resources.
2.5 months is wild.
Or attention to help out." Following this, he comes.
Yeah, isn't it the U.S. saying that they're a floating island of garbage? Isn't that what the U.S. are saying? So obviously they don't want to give electricity to a floating island of garbage. I'm not saying that. The U.S. is saying that. I want to go to Puerto Rico. So I want there to be electricity when I get there. But if not, it's fine. I'm still embrace the culture, you know.
Puerto Rican flag, but this flag had the light blue triangle, which is usually used to symbolize Puerto Rico's sovereignty and political independence, which contrasts with other versions of the flag that use darker shades of blue for the triangle, which is supposed to represent Puerto Rico's status as a U.S. territory instead. This is kind of crazy, but the OG flag was actually banned for a decade in 1948, along with anything remotely related to Puerto Rican independence.
That's
so
crazy.
There's actually a lot of meaning behind this light blue flag. At the end of the performance, Bad Bunny spoke in English the only time in his performance, saying, "God bless America." Then he listed 20 nations within the Americas displaying their flags, including the U.S. and Puerto Rico. He spiked a football that read, "Together we are America," with a message on the screen in the background that said, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." I didn't mention every single thing he did, but I'm sure you guys get the gist of it. This performance was jam-packed with meaning.
I love this
seemed
performance.
to be done so in a
Even
way
that truck, bro. Even that in Latin culture, especially in Latin movies and all these things, you always see this truck, bro. I forgot what it's called, but you always see this one, bro.
Wasn't expected.
It's
Following
so
all
it's
of
such
the
a
heat that
staple.
he got from the ICE discourse, the U.S. government, the people that were mad for him performing, and even the president himself. Speaking of which, Trump promptly responded to the performance saying, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever.
Nah, Trump.
It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence." But
Okay, but Trump, let's just say this. How much Latin influence is there in America? And if these are part of the Americas, then how's it not representing you? Isn't it you want Greenland to be yours? Well, Puerto Rico is yours. Why aren't you holding them down, bro? Like, what's going on? Nah, boy, at the end of the day, this performance was good, bro. I appreciate the culture. Dog, we don't need Lil Wayne or somebody. Like, I didn't mean to say Lil Wayne, because I actually want Lil Wayne. But, like, when you guys were fighting for Lil Wayne to perform at halftime, New Orleans, I get it. But let's be serious. Lil Wayne, bruv. Have you seen Lil Wayne performing lately? Niggas just screaming. Wah! Is that what you want at the halftime show, bro? No, bro. This was culture. This was something different. But it still represented a large section, a big community in America, which is the Latin community. And some of the Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why Trump is saying this is terrible. This is part of your culture, Trump. What are you talking about?
do you know who does represent all of these things? Kid Rock. I'm kidding, but we'll get there. Trump continued saying, "Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing..."
A lot of people speak Spanish in America, Trump. Shut up.
Disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country.
You're a slap in the face to your country.
Setting new standards and records every single day. He yaps a little more and mentions the kickoff rule again, which is really funny. Regardless, while Bad Bunny was doing his performance, Turning Point USA had their alternate All-American halftime show, which I just have to mention real quick. It was headlined by Kid Rock alongside Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barrett.
Hey, some old timers, eh?
Who are all country artists. This event even had Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and other U.S. officials.
Bet you what, there wasn't anybody of color performing there, huh? At the All-American one, huh? Nobody of color there, huh?
Supporting it.
Just Kid Rockin'
I think
him.
it's safe to say, politics aside, it was just pretty bad. I tuned in out of curiosity while this guy was performing, and it honestly felt like a parody.
Be somebody, make a name for yourself. Life's hard to go through hell. There comes a time when you gotta slow down. That's what we doing now, but we cheated on the girl. Lay back, swimming like a Jules Jones.
It instantly made me
Bro, yeah, bro. I don't know, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with the music. It's just like the vibe just feels so off.
think of this Family Guy clip.
Gone really wrong, like that Kid Rock concert.
Oh my God! Help! He's having a heart attack! Is anyone here a doctor?
No fucking way someone's a doctor here.
Then people started pointing out that the audio was out of sync on the stream, which led to theories that it wasn't even live, which has been further supported in the media. And then people also started theorizing that TPUSA botted the stream.
Yo, is the chat frozen? I don't get it. Live chat, it's not loading it.
I just wanna catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer.
That's how we started the song, bro. I just want to kiss my fish.
Hello? Hello?
Even fellow conservatives like Milo, however you say it, and Candace Owens were claiming that it was botted. And even if it wasn't botted, it was just pretty lame, trying to make people super mad over something that really isn't a big deal. I think someone performing in Spanish for the Super Bowl isn't serious at all. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, this is how you know Americans are lost, bro. Like, you're crying over Bad Bunny performing for like what, 10 minutes at the Super Bowl halftime show, and the life carrying on after that. Oh wow, wow. Oh, Bad Bunny, what an atrocity! He sang in Spanish. Oh my God, look at all these thick, beautiful Puerto Rican women. Oh my God, not the thick, beautiful woman from Puerto Rico. Oh no!
Especially when you look at it under the context of the NFL trying to grow their audience and compete with people like FIFA. Rather than just maintaining their position as the top American sport, I think they're trying to go more global, which would in turn make sense why they have other artists performing in other languages or other artists that have fan base elsewhere in the world performing during the halftime show. I mean, you even ended up having Nick Fuentes saying, "There is just nothing inspiring or attractive about what the white right has to offer in its current form."
Even Nick Fuentes is defending the people of color.
Kid Rock again? Ugh. The California governor, Gavin Newsom, was tweeting
That's all they know. They only know Kid Rock. That's the only person they know as All-American. That's the only person they accept. We're like, bro, who can we get to perform Kid Rock? Just get Kid Rock. He's American. He represents us. Wow.
Craigslist job listings looking for actors allegedly for the Kid Rock concert, asking people to cheer and clap throughout the show, just as you would at a real concert.
Oh, $200? Oh, I was gonna be there, dog. I won't even lie. I don't even support that shit. I was just gonna be there for the 200 and the dip. I was gonna pull up, clap, Kid Rock, yeah, man. Take my 200 dip, bruh. Put 100 on black. Get 300. This is what I was gonna do.
No clue if this is real, but if it was, it would be pretty funny. Regardless, Bad Bunny had a very controversial, impactful, and meaningful performance that a lot of people may have missed, but it will probably go down as one of the most heavily contested Super Bowl performances.
You paid me to watch Kid Rock, dog. You paid me to watch Kid Rock. $200. Bro, I'm going, dude. I won't even lie.
Of all time. But there are others that have been very controversial as well, like last year's performance from Kendrick Lamar. So to learn more about that and other controversial performances, make sure to click the video that's on screen right now.
It's like you paid me for the ticket. Like, I'm
Bad
getting
Bunny just had one of the...
Oh, bro, I don't know, bro. This video just went left at the end. But, look, man. This is what I have to say, right? There is a huge demographic for Latin, Hispanic, Spanish-speaking people, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, everybody on that side of the world, South Americans. There's a huge audience for them. So I don't know what they mean, like, oh, this don't represent what America stands for. Brother, these people are part of your people, bro. What are you talking about, bro? There's Hispanic culture, there's Latin culture. It's not just American all-white Kid Rock, yeah, hillbilly music, bro. Nah, bro, there's different variations, different... Come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Adapt to the times, bruh. We are a global world now, bro. We need to embrace everybody, bruh. So we must just accept Kid Rock now. Every day, every halftime show. We just need, bro. Seriously speaking, I see nothing wrong with this. Because to me, when I went to America, bro, I saw a lot of Hispanic people. I saw a lot of Latin people. I saw a lot of people from this demographic. So I don't know why he's saying that nobody understands what he's saying. I don't know why he's saying... Bro, when I went to the high schools there was many Latin kids. Or of Latin descent, bro. You know what I'm saying? Many Hispanic kids, bro. So the culture's there. So for me, I enjoyed it. I was having a blast, bro. You know, at the beginning, it started a bit wild for me. I was just like, why is there just grass here? But then when I started to connect the dots, you know what I'm saying, and saw how he was representing his culture as a whole, and everything came together. Bro, it was a beautiful performance, bro. And I think the world should be shown how other people and cultures are living. For Trump to say, oh no, that doesn't represent the success, bro. The world is, everybody in the world is just not successful, bro. Especially also in America, bro. People are struggling. People come from these, a lot of people come from these backgrounds to America. A lot of people can resonate with the story of coming from these type of environments and trying to make it in the land of milk and honey, or what do they say, milk and cookies, or whatever they call it, you know. So for me, bro, it's just like, it's clearly a political thing. Trump is clearly touched about what he said, and yeah, man, I don't know what more can I say, bro. I support it. Like I said, I'm not even really a Bad Bunny fan like that, only because like the Bad Bunny, the way he is not what I relate to. Like these dudes who be painting their nails and wearing dresses, that's not my thing, bro. You do you, just don't bring it to me. You know what I'm saying? But I can appreciate this performance for what it was. There was a time, there was a one sus moment when some other men were grinding on each other. I was like, hey, which one is this one? Bad Bunny. But you know what? It's part of Latin culture. You know, they like to be all gyrating on one another, bro. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Your boy dwayzeonblaze. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let me know down below what you think of the Super Bowl halftime show. And I'll catch you in the next one. You already know.